A DFC is a few things. It's a decision-making exercise. In the name, decision-forcing case, it's forcing participants to make decisions. It's a type of game, so there are rules, there's interaction, there's a challenge involved. It's a bit of history, right? It's drawn from actual events. It's also an immersive story. You're putting participants in the shoes of an actual decision maker and asking them to face tough problems and try to come up with practical solutions. The goal is to get people comfortable with making decisions and realistically issuing them. It's not an exercise of what would you do, it's an exercise in what are you doing right now. I'll talk first about uses, positive uses or appropriate uses for DFCs. Complex problem solving, decision making, anything that isn't black and white, any situation where there are multiple ways to approach a problem, a situation where people can argue and disagree about what's the best course of action, that's appropriate. I'd argue that you can use DFCs to teach just about any subject, or at least help teach a subject. And this goes from administration to maintenance to leading a squad in combat or dealing with foreign dignitaries as a general. Situations or topics that might not lend themselves to DFCs, if there's a right answer, if there is a absolute black and white, this is the way to do it, this is the policy, and there's no wiggle room, don't use a decision-forcing case. And that can both help and hinder you. As a facilitator, you need to be aware, to the degree you can, of your participants' experiences and how that's going to shape the dialogue. We've had some participants who talk about off-duty incidents. They talk about things they've encountered while drill instructors or as recruiters. And one of the things that I try to impress upon the participants is Marines have a tremendous amount of experience, so much experience. They're not always aware of how much experience they have. And I really encourage them to harness that. Every school in the Marine Corps, every school course, any place that's involved in learning, if you simply ask the faculty, the staff, about experiences centered around the subject or the MOS or whatever it is they're trying to teach, you look long enough and you talk to people long enough, you'll find that there's a case for everything. And really, I think every school and course should have a library of these exercises that faculty and students can refer to and use to help develop whatever their decision-making skills or critical thinking skills in the context of that MOS or subject or skill, whatever it is they're trying to teach. Cases are engaging, I think, in large part because they kind of tap into this primal or instinctual interest for stories. Something I'll often talk about in the workshop to participants is we like stories, and this is something that I think you find across humanity. Stories are one of the most long used modes of transmission, right? Trying to move, convey information, knowledge, wisdom, what have you, from one generation to another. So DFCs really latches onto that, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're so powerful. Cases rely on history. They rely on documentary evidence, and we don't always have all the details. I won't tell participants, this is exactly how it happened, because we don't know exactly how it happened, and how the protagonist experienced the event may be a very different thing than the people serving as the subordinates, or who were on another part of the line or in a different part of the city. So I try to make that clear. Using DFCs, seeing DFCs taught at various schools, I think the Marine Corps is on track to hopefully really institutionalizing them. I think DFCs are immensely powerful tools. I've seen them used to teach all sorts of subjects, to teach many subjects at once. So if I'm trying to do call for fire, ethics, squad in the attack, and T&O of a rifle squad, I can find a squad level, squad focused case, and in the course of that case, kind of talk through or point out ethics, call for fire, whatever it is. Marines are expected to make decisions, think critically, and adapt in the fog and friction of war. And one of the most effective ways, I would say, to get at that end state is to use a tool like a decision forcing case.